A hoist just like this one was used by the members of the Coast Guard to get on and off the tower. Conditions continue to worsen. You should stay in your homes and avoid going out if you have to. Make sure that you are staying safe and staying put. If you are going to warm your car up before work, make sure you put it in reverse and put some distance between the car and your home. We are on the waterfront and this rain is really intense. It is kind of hurting as it's hitting my skin right now. The wind is really whipping as well. You can probably see behind me the way the water is just insane right now, and it is very cold out here. Mind you, we did not travel at a really high traffic time like 5 p.m. or 7 in the morning, so that is something to consider. However, I will say that there are some folks who do work at WWAY who made that trip across the Isabel Holmes Bridge around that 4 o'clock hour earlier this week, and it took them about an hour to make that trip from Leland to cross the Isabel Holmes into Wilmington. Attention Seahawks, a new bird has landed on campus. You can find the information if the device has been fire safety tested somewhere on it. For example, on this one, it's on the bottom. According to wildlife officers, a majority of those fatalities could have been prevented if people were wearing their life jackets. I was speaking with Rob Zappel this evening, and he says he is grateful to the people of New Hanover County for continuing to put their faith in him to serve on the Board of Commissioners, and he's excited to serve with Leanne Pierce. Pierce is coming to the Board of Commissioners after first serving as the first female mayor of Carolina Beach. Now, whenever they made that decision, it was met with a lot of backlash. Several people even filed petitions with the County Board of Elections to recall those council members that voted in favor of the paid parking program. However, now those petitions are no longer being pursued. Well, Jeff, the warming shelter will open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with check-in starting at 5:30 p.m. They'll be serving food and giving everyone a cot and a blanket to sleep with, and there might even be some holiday surprises. For some people, the shelter is the only way they're staying out of the cold. As people zip down 3rd Street, heading home, dozens are camped out along the sidewalk, longing for a comfortable place to lay their head.
A homeless person is just like the next man. Homeless woman, she's just like the next woman. We're just trying to get back on our feet. We got on the horse, we fell off, and then we're trying to get back on.
Ricky Hardy became homeless after falling on hard times. He's been living on the streets for 6 months.
Well, right now, it sucks to be me. It's cold. If you got any blankets, you better try to hold on to them. Or if you ain't, the next homeless man walk by that need a blanket, he's gonna get your blanket.
Less than a mile away from where dozens like Ricky spend their days, Reverend Jamie Thompson, other pastors and volunteers at Trinity United Methodist Church are preparing to open the warming shelter.
Folks can come in off the street. It's open for anybody and everybody. Anybody who needs to be warm and safe out of the cold.
The shelter has been operating since 2016, but only opens its doors when temperatures drop below 30 degrees for 2 consecutive nights. Reverend Meg McBride says this is the first time it has opened on Christmas.
What better way to spend the holiday than at the warming shelter?
In the past, McBride says the shelter has seen about 65 people on its busiest nights. She anticipates they will see a lot of need this weekend.
I've received phone calls about homeless families, and that's the first time that we're hearing that. I do believe that the homeless crisis in our city has gotten worse since COVID, and so it'll be curious to see who comes.
And one of those people will likely be Ricky. He plans to be first in line when the warming shelter's doors open.
Really, majority of us is looking for a job or a chance. Everybody needs a second chance.
A chance many of our homeless neighbors would consider a Christmas miracle. If anyone does have any work for Ricky, he says you can usually find him hanging around the steps of the courthouse. Again, the shelter is going to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with check-in starting at 5:30 p.m. Jeff.
Vinyl sounds better. It's more of an art form. You've got something more to hold in your hand than a little piece of plastic.
Video killed the radio star, and the CD tried killing vinyl.
I think probably started about 10 years ago, actually, with the vinyl surgence. And then it seems to be still climbing right now. I think at a certain point it'll probably plateau, but right now it seems to still be growing.
School Kids Records first opened in 1977 in Wilmington. After changing locations a few times, it closed in 2003. As record sales climbed, it reopened on South Carr about a year and a half ago. Now it's run by Steve Levine and Eddie Todd.
It's great when somebody comes in here and finds something that they've been looking for or haven't been looking for and get excited about something.
You can either be like a novice or you could be an audiophile, and that's the cool thing about it, but the main thing is getting in the store, buying your first record, and then starting from there.
While some are just getting started on their collections, others never stop spinning.
And there's something about that stylus hitting the grooves in that record that create a sound that's very unique to vinyl. And then there's also the imperfections. There's the crackling, there's the pops. If it's an older record especially, there's something familiar about that. And I think that people kind of crave that listening experience.
David Purnell has been collecting records since 1984, asking his sister to include a few albums on her monthly orders to Columbia House.
Tried hard to make sure it stays in pretty good shape. So that's my oldest record. And then my newest record, oddly enough, is a Genesis album. It's a compilation of live recordings that came out just a couple weeks ago.
While there was once a time wax seemed harder to find than a Mickey Mantle baseball card, Purnell says it seems like it's here to stay.
It's not just the old rock and rollers who are doing it, that it seems to be across genre, across popularity, across artists, that everyone seems to be putting out a vinyl version of their new album.
And collectors like him can continue supporting local record shops like School Kids.
Yeah, as far as the future, we've already run out of room.
Yeah, as far as the future of School Kids goes, yeah.
May the tables continue to turn in favor of vinyl records. Santa's workshop may be in the North Pole, but there are plenty of elves looking down in Southport.
Everything starts out as a 2x4, a 2x6, 2x8.
The St. James woodworkers have been hand-making toys for the past 4 years.
We started out with just over 100 toys, and this year we're going to have about 450.
From dogs and ducks to cars and cradles.
It's different than a purchased toy because it's made with love, and it's different. It's unique. Each one is different.
Each toy thoughtfully designed with wood that's been donated or stumbled upon.
We also, as a lot of people put it, dumpster dive. A lot of construction's been going on, and we get the scraps, and we do have one member whose neighbor has gone out to different construction sites, talked to the people there, and they set aside the wood scraps for us to use in making toys.
With the help of crafty neighbors and generous donors, the group of artisans craft toys for kids of all ages in Santa's Workshop South, a garage in St. James Plantation.
A lot of the guys are really, really good at wood turning. Some of us not so much, but we paint, we put the toys together, put the wheels on.
An effort that takes up more time than just the 12 days of Christmas.
Well, next week is a handoff on the 5th, on Tuesday, December 5th, and next year's toy making begins on the 6th.
The toys made with love and some for longevity.
The checkerboards, that's walnut and maple. I mean, they really are something that somebody can have for the rest of their life.
And years later, someone may pull out a toy and remember it was handmade by one of Santa's elves.
It's truly nice to be able to do something.
It's fun to think about what happens on Christmas morning.
Tensions running high at the New Hanover County School Board meeting Tuesday night. People who support and oppose Policy 3620, the policy that allowed transgender middle school students to play on sports teams that match their gender identity, speak their minds at public comment.
So the issue on the table is that Democrats want boys to have the option to take away sports opportunities from girls. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's not even a thoughtful issue.
The fear you express for children is the fear I, a transgender student, face every single day. I ask you, as an elected official, shouldn't you have the same level of worry for all students? Are your children more important or better than students like me?
Hundreds of people lined up outside the building before it began, with the meeting quickly reaching capacity. Standing along the back of the room were the Proud Boys. A bystander says during public comment, someone bumped into a member of the Proud Boys and knocked him into the lap of someone sitting down. Chaos ensued, many chanting for the Proud Boys to be removed from the meeting. Several people left following the outburst, but no one was formally removed from the building and public comment resumed. After several failed motions, a closed session, and a lengthy open discussion, the board voted 4-3 to amend the policy to read that students may only participate on the team consistent with the gender on the student's birth certificate, unless in violation of the North Carolina state law. Hello and thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 6. I'm Sydney Bouchelle. We'll begin tonight in Oak Island, where police are asking for the public's help in finding a missing boater. The Oak Island Police Department says 47-year-old Jeffrey Cale was fishing in the Atlantic Ocean yesterday when he went missing. Police say he was in a 32-foot Cape Horn boat with the hull number NC4431FA. Police are asking anyone who has seen or been in contact with Cale to call 911. Funding public schools, that's the mission of a new campaign launched by educators and advocates. The campaign, called Fund the Future, was launched in collaboration with New Hanover for All and the New Hanover County Association of Educators. Educators and advocates met on Saturday for their first organizing event. The campaign comes as 279 student-facing positions could be cut by the Board of Education. The school board is considering these cuts after the loss of ESSER funds, which were part of COVID-19 relief efforts. New Hanover County Association of Educators President Jackie D'Alessio says many of the positions on the chopping block will affect the county's most vulnerable students.
You need people in the classrooms every day supporting our kids and doing the job. They're facing cuts to special education, academically gifted students, mental health with counselors and social workers.
According to a report from the Education Law Center, North Carolina ranked 48th nationally in education funding. The 77th annual Azalea Festival Parade kicked off on Saturday in downtown Wilmington. Wilmington's largest parade saw thousands of people lining the streets and thousands more visiting the city for the festival. WWAY's very own Matt Bennett and Hannah Patrick were the MCs for the parade. Some of the notable appearances in the parade include Miss North Carolina, local first responders, and the return of Elmo and Nemo to the parade. Wilmington resident Shelby Wells says she hasn't attended the parade in a few years, but came this year with her mom to see her brother play in the parade with the Laney High School Band.
It's really cool, like growing up here and being from here, like this has always been a huge thing, so it's really fun to like come and be a part of it. It's just like a fun weekend.
Still no official estimates on how many people visited the port city this weekend, though the festival's president, Andrew Nettleman, told WWAY they projected around 250,000 people to attend the festivities. On Monday, we brought you a story about Wilmington Police Department's new body cameras and how they can assist law enforcement, especially during large events like the parade. WWAY's Nate Malden got a look at them in action for the Azalea Festival on Saturday and shows us how they worked.
It enables us to have another tool to be able to make decisions.
Live streaming anytime, anywhere. That's what WPD's newest set of body cameras can do thanks to a recent upgrade. The Axon Body Cam 3 allows officers to live stream their body cam directly back to police headquarters. Captain John Musacchio says the cameras allow for better decision making during large events or emergency situations.
It's actually good for up here so we can actually get the bird's eye view of what's happening and be able to see what the officer's seeing and what they're feeling, what they may be getting into.
Captain Musacchio adds that during an active situation, traffic cams can't always offer a clear picture of what's going on if an officer is unable to communicate on the phone or radio.
The cameras we have downtown and some DMV cameras, we don't always have a camera in that location, so we can't see incidents when you set up an incident command.
Lieutenant Greg Willett says having the best information available is vital to making better decisions from the command center.
You have to make decisions on the fly, or you have to make decisions based on the best information you have at the time. Well, with the ability to live stream from these cameras, that provides an additional source or resource of information.
Lieutenant Willett notes the new technology doesn't just benefit law enforcement. For large events like the NC Azalea Festival on Saturday, the command center is helmed by more than just police.
It oftentimes involves law enforcement, fire, EMS, emergency management, So yeah, it benefits everybody. It really helps with a coordinated effort.
In Wilmington, Nate Malden, WWAY News.
And just for some clarity, the cameras aren't always live streaming. They have to already be recording, which could be started by the officer themselves or by certain actions like pulling their gun out of its holster. Lieutenant Willett says this is the police department's first big event with the cameras. An NFL player and Wilmington native held his annual celebration for the Azalea Festival and was honored by the city. Pittsburgh Steelers player Alex Highsmith hosts his Kentucky Derby-style celebration for the past 3 Azalea festivals. But at this year's event on Saturday, Mayor Bill Saffo presented Highsmith with a proclamation declaring April 6th as Alex Highsmith Day. Highsmith received the honor not just for his playing on the field, but also for his work with the Highsmith Reading Foundation and the Barbara Highsmith Reading Academy. Highsmith says that his faith is what has brought him through challenges in his life, and he feels blessed to receive this honor from the city.
I'm thankful that God has blessed me with everything that I have. He's the reason I do everything, and so everything I do is just for God's glory and to give all glory to Him. And so I'm just blessed to be able to give back to the community.
Highsmith added he will also be hosting his youth football camp again this summer, and although the dates have not yet been finalized, he says being a positive role model for children means the world. All eyes on the skies tomorrow, a total solar eclipse happening in the afternoon. We humans may stop and stare in amazement, but how do animals respond? A rare research opportunity being led by scientists in the Carolinas. Well, we do have a little bit longer until the ball drops, but we've got to get the celebration started here.
Right.
You know?
I'm going to put these on now that I'm not
they're
looking
a
at
little
the graphics.
hard to see out of, but it's for the celebration.
Kind of can't see, but
we've got our sparkling grape juice here. We're gonna. Oh no! I knew this was gonna happen. Oh no, Marion, get it, muscle, Marion.
Oh no, it's like really strong.
It's really.
Well, I got it.
Yes, we have to celebrate. We have to celebrate.
Okay.
Now here we go. Thank you.
Am I gonna pour? I like kind of can't see.
I know you can't really see out of these things. Okay, and we have to cheers to a fantastic 2024.
Cheers to 2024. We have 5 seconds.
Beautiful. Oh, okay. Have a good night. Happy New Year.
Coach Keith started it back when he was here, but Sydney, of course, the Seahawk alum, got to be very proud of your Seahawks.
I found out that they won. I had not been watching the game, like not a very good Seahawk, but Jake texted me and just said road scoops. And I said, we won the game!
Well, there was a lot going on Saturday, college football, Christmas party, all those kinds of things.
Yes.
I, of course, was plugged in trying to do my job as best as I can.
Honestly, I'm glad you were the one to break the news to me.
Which flavor you want? Milk cookies, Cherry Garcia is what I picked.
I'm going to go cookies.
Okay, I got
that
you.
sounds delicious.
I'll get you your road scoops.
Well, we're going to enjoy our road scoop, but when we come back, meteorologist Marion Caldwell will have your full forecast. Don't go far.
I know Sydney Bouchelle loves that. 71 Monday, and how about upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday?
I will absolutely take it. And we should have pretty good weather for the eclipse, right?
We should have pretty good weather for the eclipse right now. We're thinking rain-free weather on Monday. We're also thinking some scattered clouds. So it's not going to be perfect conditions, but at least there will be breaks in the clouds and sun.
Very nice. Fun fact, the last eclipse was on my birthday.
Oh, that's very cool.